How to create circular polar designs with the equations filter, combine it with shapes as well as combine it with linked layers to create really awesome designs that can be modified in countless ways. That's in PC and Mac. Affinity Photo. Go to the Tools panel and select one of the shape tools. I'm going to go here, Cog Tool. You could use Donut, Arrow, all those sort of ones. Cog Tool, apply it. You can also manipulate it. Go up here, the control bar, change the number of teeth, inner radius, all those kind of settings can be modified to create your unique design, your unique shape. But you can, of course, create your own shape as well, just using the Node tool, Pen tool, and others. Go here to the Styles, and you can find that in the View menu, Studio, and Styles. Apply one of these styles. I'm just going to go with this one. But there's a whole variety of different ones. You've got just default. You perhaps have got your own styles you've created earlier. There's one. Settle on something. You can now turn that into a raster image, and that's what it needs. It needs to be a raster image before you can use the linked feature. Go to Layer, down to Rasterize, and make certain this is turned off. Preserve layer effects. You don't want that on. Click Rasterize. Now you've got a pixel layer. And you can duplicate that pixel layer. But you can duplicate it in a special way that will link all of the changes, any modification to the pixels other than scale or rotate. And they will be modified all at the same time within a second or two. So go to Layer and Duplicate Linked. Duplicate Linked, and you can see you get another one there. And you can resize it. That doesn't matter. You can change, resize it, rotate it. It's when you manipulate the actual pixels and resize that bit. And you can create 3 or 4 layers, maybe 5 or 6, up to you. I'm just going to go with a couple because too many in tutorial take too long to create them. Just do that. And now with the Move tool, I can reposition it. You can move it around. But also, I can apply an equation. The equation I'm going to be using, filters, down to Distort and Equations. Sadly, it is not available as a live filter. That would be brilliant, but Equations is there. So select that and then enter your equation. I'm going to be using Polar, so set that, set Polar. And also I'm going to fill in equation for the R and the T. You've also got parameters A, B and C to manipulate that design. But any change I make to this equation will be reflected in all of those layers. Go to the R field. I'm going to enter this equation. I've used it before in other videos. Please check out the description for the equation. You can modify it, so you can go down there and say instead of 6,000, you could put it to 4,000 or 3,000. Also, T. Go for T times 10 or T times 20. Really not much is happening at the moment. But you can modify these parameters here, A, B and C. And as you do that, you can see what happens. It will change, just very subtle. But you can also change it by changing the origin point. As you move it around, you can see designs. They all change. Even though I've only selected one, I'm only manipulating one. But all of them will change at the same time. I can modify the B, and as you do that, you can see what happens. It all just comes in there, and you can see the result of that. And you can still continue to manipulate that, move that around. You can also go here to C and just change that. And as you do that, that will also change. And you can see as you do that, you can see all of them also alter. And you can create some very complex designs by doing this. Click Apply. So you've got this design. Now I can resize this again. I can just resize it. So I don't have to keep it in the same positions. It's only when I'm moving it backwards and forwards that you can manipulate it. When it's finished, I like to actually put them all together again. So I'm just resizing them and select them all. Just go to the Layers panel. That's the easiest way. Select them all there. Go up to the alignment. Now you don't have to align them. You can have them. Of course, you can make a spiral design, circular design, whole range of different designs, maybe with these layers, and they're all linked. I'm just going with very basic design like this, and you can see the design. You can create all kinds of flower designs, star designs, and you can go back to any of these designs. So with that selected, select that one again. Unfortunately, the filter does not remember the equation. So filters, distort, and equations. When you go there, it's back to it as it was before, 0. I wish they would change that, but that's not available. So polar, again, there, 0. You don't have to use 0. You could use mirror, wrap, but I'm going with 0 as the extend mode. Paste the equation in again, exactly the same equation, but you can manipulate it, modify it. Maybe instead of R there, minus R, you could put R times R. Experiment. You might find that it creates even more amazing designs. So with that, you can then change these parameters again, and of course you can see what happens, the result of that, and you can still then reposition the origin point, and you see just zooms off in that direction. Of course, if you've got 30 or 40 of them, it will be really impressive as they fly off in a zoom design. So like that. And you can also modify C and change that. And as you change it, you will see the result just change as well. I think that looks pretty good. And they're identical. Now, of course, simple solution afterwards, of course, is once you've applied them, is to then just create them again. You can see the design there. You could just duplicate them and resize. But I think it's just really nice to see the design take shape when you've got multiple linked ones. And you can rotate it. So you've got that design there, rotate that, maybe go there, and you don't have to have the other one. Maybe just delete that one. So you could just have 2. And of course, as I said, you could just simply duplicate it afterwards. But I think it's quite effective within the equation to see them all interact and modify at the same time. It's more effective than just seeing them sort of after the event, I think. You can always go over here and add a different style as well. Don't have to keep the same style. So you can just go over here, gold art. So you can select that, or pixel gel. Some look just great when you do that. And you can still manipulate them. You don't need to use the shape tools. You can also use the pen tool to create a shape, your own unique shape. So click on the document with the pen tool, click there, and anywhere. Create all kinds of unique designs. You can also manipulate it later with the node tool. Find the node tool there. You can select the individual designs or click here and modify the design. Please check out my other videos on how to create shape designs in Affinity Photo. You can also go to the styles, click one of these and apply any kind of style. I'm just going to go with this one. I like that one, the frost one. This design still needs to be rasterized. You can't use it like this. So go to Layer and Rasterize. Preserve layer effects. Click there. Make certain that is turned off. Needs to be rasterized without any layer effects. And you can see then in the layers panel, you've got it as a pixel. So a pixel layer. And this design can still be modified. Go here to the move tool, select that. You can resize it, squeeze it, rotate it. So you might decide I want it that direction. So just rotate it like that. And you can duplicate it. Again, using the duplicate linked. So go to Layer, Duplicate Linked. You can set up shortcut if you wish, but duplicate linked. So you've got another copy there, and you can rotate it. So just go to this end, rotate it, resize it as I've just done by accident. Just wanted to rotate it more than anything. You can see you can create that design. Layer, duplicate linked, and do the same. Rotate that and reposition it. And you can create all the way around if you wish. I'm just going to create 3 because it just makes it quicker. And they're all, again, if you go there, you can see duplicate linked. So any changes you make using this equation can be applied. So filters, distort, and equations. So I've got that one selected. Equations panel again. Always defaults back to the set. I don't know, wish they would change that. Polar, I say that every time as well. Never changes. Paste that equation in and you can see the equation. Again, it's in the description. And you can see the result there of those three. And you can move them around. At the moment, you can barely see them. I can barely see them, so I suspect in the tutorial you won't be able to see them. You can resize and you can see what happens. You can see eventually it gets to a point where you can actually see it, and you can still then manipulate this design. Go over there, let's just move that around, and then you got that. And of course, it's going to be very tricky to exactly duplicate this design. I doubt if I could ever recreate it exactly, because it's just dependent on the origin position there, and also the A value. And unfortunately, it doesn't show an A value. I don't know what the A is. I think that could be about 20, 10, I don't know. 0.1, I'm not certain. I think it's probably 0 to 1, but where it is there, 0.3. And you can see the B there. So I'm going to go with that. I can still manipulate it if I want. But I think that's a really quite nice design. Click apply. And of course you could create this by simply working on one shape and then just duplicating it later. That's fine. But it does mean the duplicate link, you can see the sort of result you're going to get as you work with multiple shapes. And I think it's a bit clearer to see the shapes, designs you're going to get if you've got them all linked. And you can still, of course, manipulate them afterwards. You can always say, oh, you know what, I want that position there, that one to be positioned there, and just change them around. And you, of course, could still go and apply the same, again, repeat equations. Now, I have no idea what's going to happen now. Repeat equations, something like that. But you can also move it, rotate it, filter, repeat equations, and you can see the result then. Or go over there, rotate it, resize it, go to filters, repeat equations, and you get another result. Millions of different designs can be created very quickly, and you can still go to styles. So you've got styles here, maybe go for that one, metal, metal white, and so on. So you can create a variety of different designs. Now they're pixel layers, you can't combine them in the normal conventional sense. You can go to select them all. I would suggest avoiding merge selected, because during the run through this tutorial, it's actually crashed a few times with merge selected. It does seem to have a problem with duplicate linked. So if you're going to merge them, I would suggest merge visible is a safer bet. And also probably, of course, before you do any merge, is probably to save it. Go to File and save your document. But with these designs, you can still select one, go to Filters, Distort, and then maybe Deform, and apply and modify that. And you've got this very weird shape, which you can then continue to manipulate, and you can see distortions there. That's just using the handles and the Deform filter there. And then go back to the equations. Always go back to it at any time. So go to Distort, Equations, back to that. So again, polar, and enter the equation. Luckily it's still in the clipboard. And then t times 10 or some other value. Doesn't have to be anything. T can be equal to t. It doesn't matter. If you put t times, you will get an error. But t times 30 and you get a different result. Or maybe t divided by 4. You don't have to go with multiply. And you can see the result there. Obviously very small at that point, but as soon as I do that, you can see it is more visible there. And you can see, just tweak that. You can push it too far and you end up with a weird, but you can manipulate that. The only problem is when you do a divide, you'll get a slight cutoff in the design with the T value. And of course, you can always go down to extend mode, full, which is always odd. Creates a very unusual effect there. Repeat, wrap, and you can see it repeated off and mirror. And you can still continue to manipulate that, and you can still see the effect of multiple copies applied there. You can also manipulate this equation. So go over here to the T field. Instead of using T times 4, you can put oscsin. And there's a variety of these ones as well available. So I'm just going to put bracket around those, and you can see the result there. Now you've got this really truly weird, I don't know, oscillation harmonic there. Just superb. Again, you can still continue to modify the A, modify the B, and that is just from 3 shapes. You can imagine if you got like 30 or 40, that it would create quite a fill across the design. And you can still manipulate that. Instead of 4, just use 10. And you can see that when you create 10, that's the effect. And you can still manipulate this one, of course. You can always go and change this. Don't have to have R minus, you can make minus A instead of plus. Or go there and put, and I don't know what the result will be, R times R. Well, obviously a slightly smaller design. So you might decide, you know, put 200 times that, or maybe divide it by. Just try it out. Just, it doesn't have to be frozen, the equation. So there, just put divide by 100 or divide by 1,000, and you can see the result of that. Create some very unusual designs. And they continue to modify the A, the B, as well as the C. Now, the closer you get to the 0 point there, it will just fill the screen. And you can still use mirror, you can still use all of the others as well. 0 is quite a nice one with this one. You can still continue to tweak with this. Maybe T times 10, then plus R. Just try them. Maybe divide by 100. Don't have to keep it just the R or the T on its own. And then create that. Creates a nice sort of spiral twirl design inside that. And click apply. And you can see the end result. And that's just by simple change, just by adding that oscsin in the T equation. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. Any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Always great to hear from you. All the various variations. Can you think of any additional things that would be really great in this? Always nice to know. Thank you much.